is here with us right now and we're accessing her. Channels for God's creativity and God's messages. Not overwhelm yourself with certain changes. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with so many things that you have to do. I want you to think about every time in your life where you're faced with a situation and you have to deal with it with all the resources that you have right now. And looking back, sometimes you think that there is a version of you that could have handled that better, and you have a proper visual of this identity. So you're thinking about this version of you, like that's completely different from who you are right now. It does have certain similarities, but that vision is super clear. Like you have a vision of who this person is. We all have that. We all have this version of us that we think is somewhere deep down in the future, not here. Sometimes we get glimpses of this future version of ourselves. Sometimes we are daydreaming about it. Before we go to bed, we think about this version of ourselves. When we wake up, we wish that we were this version of ourselves. And it's always thinking about this version and never really being this version. There is this distance that we tend to create from ourselves right now to this next future version of ourselves. Maybe the glimpses that we get right now in the present moment is actually a reminder to be able to embody this version of ourselves right now. Maybe the future version of ourselves is actually trying to connect with us and give us ideas of how they really are. Maybe you just have to give these glimpses some importance and learn about this version of you that is constantly trying to connect with you, to be in touch with you, so that you gain the resources to become this higher version of you right now. We always tend to look at this higher version of us as something separate from us, but that is not true. The reason why we get these glimpses is because we can embody them right now. A new code can be born today. This whole thing of epigenetics going on, we know that we can change our genetic makeup anytime we want. We can literally change ourselves from the inside out. So why are we waiting for new circumstances? We all have a vision of this higher self of ours. And it all comes down to actually just becoming that version, rising up to that, creating a new code for ourselves, creating new genes for ourselves, and living that code. Any shift in our lives that we have to make requires an internal shift right now. Codes are always being sent to you. It is you, right? The glimpses that you get, the feelings that you get of this person, it is still you. So you can access all of the divine messages from that version of you right now. So now let's get into how we actually do this. The first and most important thing to do is to get clear on who this version of ourselves is. It's not just enough for you to see this version and to get glimpses of this version. You have to really draw this person out. Take some time and really get into a nice, comfortable space. Find this version of you and make it very clear in front of your eyes of who this version of yourself is. And I don't mean just on a superficial level, but go down to their habits, their attitudes towards life and different situations, their routines, their feelings, emotions, how they handle them, how they manage their relationships in their lives. So go down. I'll probably leave a couple of maybe journaling prompts for you in the description, so you could probably take your time and just sit down and basically write these answers. Just get a definitive picture of who this version of you is. And this time we don't look at this version of ourselves in the distant past, but we look at her like she is here with us right now and we're accessing her. and she's actually giving us the codes of how to be. Sometimes maybe you're dealing with a situation that is present in your life. You can always ask for guidance and see how this version of you will be dealing with these problems. Write it down, journal it down, put on some calming music, take a pen and a paper, and just write it down. I know that that version of you is waiting right here, right now, for you to access them. So anytime you get that you feel like you need to bring that version of her of you in, you have the opportunity to. They're just waiting for you, and you can call on to them anytime that you want. So draw this image out carefully and understand where all you need to figure to fit this version of you right now, how you can do it. We will realize that our future version of us also has these really cool qualities that our younger version of ourselves would have, and we have to sometimes hide them because of survival and everything that we've gone through. So it's sometimes nice to also introspect and get in touch with our younger self, remember things that our younger self would maybe do, and their attitudes towards life. Sometimes it's nice to go back, and if it feels safe for you, to go back and look at how our younger selves would be, and bring in some of those traits that you feel called to bring. Understand the quirks and the naughtiness that your younger self had that maybe we could incorporate into our new identity right now. The playfulness, need to do things anew, all of that we can access from our younger selves, I think would be great to build our new identity. We need to ensure also to create a safe space for this younger self to come through, and that will happen in time. The more and more we access this data from this higher version of us, the more and more we will be gifted with resources and wisdom to lead our lives. It's all in the fact that we have to take the first step towards this new identity. This new version of us can come out through the way we dress, to the way we have fun in our lives, to the way you can make subtle changes in your daily routine. Maybe waking up earlier. I know for the longest time, maybe for the past 2.5 or 3 years, I have been trying to wake up at 6:30 because I am just feeling called to wake up at 6:30. It's not because I'm trying to follow someone else's success routine or anything. I thoroughly believe that we gain wisdom to craft our lives on our own. Of course, sometimes we do need mentorship and help and courses to help us out, but I feel like the codes are given to us on our own, but we need to choose to access those codes. My current identity at that time wouldn't let me wake up before 10. I would always end up getting up post 10, and I would always end up beating myself up. I finally decided that I just wanted to wake up at 6:30. Like, I just took the decision to just get up one day, and it was obviously something that I did after 2 long years, because I was so tired. I was so tired of just not being able to do it. And honestly, what was it? Just a decision to take, to wake up at 6:30, put on that alarm and maybe not snooze it and just wake up, even though it is one of the most difficult things for me to do. I just did it. What is happening now is that I get that time for myself to be with myself, to do things that I really want to do. And sometimes early morning stillness is what you need to access those codes, from God, from a higher version of you, from wherever the wisdom comes from the world. I think that stillness is very important, which is why I want to tell you that it's just a decision away. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing, this shift in identity to make changes in your life is just a decision away. And sometimes we put a lot of pressure on that decision and feed into it. And so it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But in like emotional baggage, but you know how we get rid of that baggage is by actually just doing the thing. It can be really fun, you know, like if you're a girl watching, I can relate to girls, which is why I'm saying girls. But if you're a girl watching, you can go out shopping, you can wear clothes that you really want to wear, you can make a Pinterest board on this new version of you and sort of live by it. But remember always that you have to start taking action right now. You have to embody it right now. So you can't be, after making this list of who the best version of you is, you cannot for the life of you push it to a later date. You have to start taking action right this second. The embodiment is definitely something that's very internal. It's something that you have to shift on the inside, like just rise up to that level of you. So for example, if it's the attitudes, if it's the mood throughout the day, if it's the routine, you have to feel this version of you right now. And you know, actually feel like every cell in your body is being transformed into this newer version of you, which is still you, but it's a really nice upgraded version of you. Feel the changes in your internal self more than the external. Like, of course, you can do all of these things. You can try on new clothes, you can wake up early, you can do all of the things that you need to do, but the changes are more internal than external. External is just to basically validate that internal change, but the internal change comes from the shift in your mood. So things like you can incorporate gratitude. Even though it's like, according to everyone, so overdone in the market, but it is honestly a miracle worker. It is really. So gratitude for the things that you have, having that stillness within you, so that before every situation, having that stillness within you, so that you can basically modify your energy, manage your energy before going into any situation. Maybe before you start your work, you just close your eyes for a few seconds. If you're working in a in an office, maybe head to the washroom, take a few deep breaths. Gratitude and breathing, oh my god, are game changers when it comes to grounding yourself. Take a few deep breaths and incorporate and integrate this higher version of you. From that list, however you want to feel on the inside, start feeling that right now. And of course, this higher version of you has flaws as well. No matter where you are in your life, you will always have flaws. You will always have places that you'll have to work towards. So I'm not telling you to make this version of you a perfect version. No, perfection doesn't exist. We are all going to make mistakes time and again, and that's completely fine. All I'm saying is you gotta embody certain traits that you have been pushing away for no reason, that are latent within you, that you think are there in another version of you, but not you. But all I need you to believe is that you are deserving of those changes right now. Wait for any external circumstance, which brings me to my next point. There is no right time for anything. Some people in our lives, we sort of question them. We think that they are acting beyond their circumstances or what they're entitled to. But honestly, they can behave the way they want, anytime they want, anyhow they want. And so can you. You don't have to wait to be rich to feel wealthy, to feel real, true wealth in your life. You don't have to be rich for that. To feel gratitude, to feel empowered, to feel confident, to feel sassy, to feel quirky, you don't have to wait for anyone to tell you to do that. To feel beautiful, you can do it right now, right this second. And together with your internal shifts and your external shifts, you can embody this version of you right this second. Change happens when you act beyond your circumstances. That's when you change things. Because if your actions match your circumstances, then that's what you are perpetuating. The next point is to not hurry this process. Like I said, it took me 2 years to wake up at 6:30. Habits are difficult to change, and I know that it is Like in this world of personal development, everyone just hurrying, and just like go. If that's something that you feel called to do, for sure, go ahead. If that's something that's going to stress you out even more, what you're going to do is keep delaying changes. So take it as it comes, take it slow. Really romanticize this process of integrating newer aspects of you. Just to simplify it, maybe one day you make one change, in another 2 weeks you make another change, as and when you feel called to it. You have a vision of what your higher version is, but you can't possibly embody all of it at once. You can start working on your embodiment practices. Maybe it's in the shower. When you take that hot shower, you feel like the old self of you, the older version of you is washing away, and you're incorporating, you're playing some really nice music and integrating this newer version of you. So practices like this, you're journaling, you're waking up a little early, you're spending time with yourself, can help you bring in more presence in your life to integrate and embody this new version of you. Don't expect it to be a fast process. Enjoy it and take it one step at a time. Maybe this person has new habits, and habits can be a little challenging to cultivate, but if you can, go for it. Do not overwhelm yourself with certain changes. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with so many things that you have to do. Trust me, the major shift that you have to do is mostly internal. Everything that you have to feel is internal. Your attitude can change, your belief systems can change, your ideas, your perspectives can change. You can stretch the rubber band of your capacity to understand. Change your perspective on things, because you can't see what you can't see. Our subconscious mind has these patterns that are stored within us from the time we are born, and we've been taught to see the world one way. When we go and speak to another person, our perspective can really open up. So because another person has lived their lives in a completely different way, so sometimes we don't see the opportunities that are present in our lives, which is why take your time, open up your perspectives, question things. Why does your reality have to be a certain way? Why do you have to be a certain way? You can change certain aspects of your life. All the complaints and excuses that you've been giving to change, dig deeper into them. Understand why you've been giving these excuses. Do you have fear of certain things? Do you have a fear of change, fear of judgment? And then go deeper into each of these topics and understand yourself much better. Accept yourself and understand, learn yourself, because we spend so much time on figuring out the external that we forget about the internal work that is also there. And I don't mean that you have to spend majority of your time going back into your past and digging deep. It fixates so much on the past. A little bit is good enough. That is enough for your healing, because sometimes that's also a trap, like being fixated on the past. So do it in a healthy way and do not overwhelm yourself. Take it easy. This shifts that need to happen can happen whilst we are enjoying our lives. And why I'm teaching you to rise up to this level is because I want you to enjoy life and find peace and love and happiness thoroughly, even in your present circumstance. Maybe you change just one habit, or maybe you watch this video and you feel a change internally. Just one thing is enough. Take your time, do it slowly, and enjoy the process. Work on your internal shifts. That's more than important. Every day, wake up. I have these cards that I use. These are called the embodiment cards. I'll soon probably put them up somewhere online for you guys to access as well. That really helped me to tune into the creative version of me, the creator version of me. And they're really helpful to get into that zone of creating. your life. Once you start embodying this version of you, of course, like I said, doubt is going to creep in. You're going to go back and fall back to your older patterns. That's completely fine. There will be a point where you will be fed up of going back to this older version of you, honestly. And that's when that real change will happen, when you will be like, no, I can't take it, I don't want to be this way. And that's when the change, your permanent change is going to happen. But it's completely human to fall back to your old patterns. These patterns have been there within us for so long. Oh my god, this is probably one of the most important points in this video. I want you to really listen to this. I know you have a secret project or a secret thing that you have to do. Maybe it is just one of these changes that you have to make in your lifestyle. There is this one thing in your life that you have just been accumulating a lot of energy towards. And like I said, it creates a lot of emotional baggage. It could be a secret project, it could be a habit that you've been wanting to build. Whatever this thing is for you, it's trying to move through you. You're a creative being, and we're called to create over here. So we are channels for God's creativity and God's messages, because we're here for God and the greatest evolution of our world. So all of those things that you're not doing, maybe that secret project that you're not releasing, or it's a video, or it's anything that you're not doing, it's creating a blockage for you, for more and more wisdom to come. And then you wonder why you're not getting the ideas to move ahead in life, when all of the ideas that are already been given to you are not being exercised. They're just there in your energetic field, and you're just feeding into them by like feeling that disappointment of not doing it, the procrastination and everything. You're feeding into it, and it's creating weight in your life that also feels very heavy during your everyday life. And I know you'll be able to relate to what I'm saying. So let it out, let that channel flow. You have to release all of those ideas into the world. And then sometimes you're not ready for a lot of things in life. Trust me, we're not. Who can be ready? Anything can happen anytime. Look at COVID-19. Were we anticipating it? Were we ready for it? But we adapted. In a similar way, in your own life as well, you can just release those ideas in whatever way you find easy. Release it, and then whatever has to happen will happen. Adversities and growth are a part of this life, and we're not going to become masters of any field in the first day. But what we can do is just let it go out into the world and do its magic, because we're here as channels. We're not here working on our own. We're working hand in hand with God, our creator. And we don't have to worry about the future as much, because we have God's help. We're co-creating with God at every single moment. So honestly, whatever you're waiting on, just let it flow through you. That is one of the most important things. That is one thing that will make you rise up to the next level as well. Not wait, and just go for it. Rise up to the new you, to your new life. All of it is accessible to you right here, right now. You have those codes, you have the wisdom all within you right now. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. I will leave my email down in this in the description box. Take care of yourself, get started on the exercises. The journal prompts will be below, and all that you need to create the best life for you is right here, right now. All you have to do is access it. That's it. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.